So, I was recently afforded the opportunity by my uncle who works at Wizards of the Coast and also Nintendo and also Sony to get a sneak preview of some upcoming product that's still it's still early in development, but look, I'll cut to the chase and I'll just smuggle out this starter commander deck slated for release in 2035. It is Jund. The commander is a team-up card, Nova Dragonoid and Nilius. Cards well-known characters from Tarkir. Interestingly, the colour ID on this is Jund, as you'll notice from the red and black mana here, then the green here. Orange mana we don't know too much about yet. That's slated for release sometime around 2031. So, yeah, this is 200 Power, 2 Toughness, and you can pay orange to flip it, at which point you have an 800 Power, 5 Toughness, where you can pay 5 to stop. So, and yeah, it's not a spectacular deck, but it's starter pre-comps. What do you expect? So, taking a look first at the Wrap Suite, we have Mulch. Exile top card until you hit a land, pull a land to the battlefield. And this actually returns to hand, which is pretty powerful. But then again, it does cost form. It's a 4-drop, so could be better. Rapid attack, plus 4 toughness, and untap all your lands. Basically ramp. Stoneblade, plus 2 toughness, and if target creature is green, you get to play an extra land. Turn to energy, fetch a land, nice and simple. And China Riot, cheeky Planeswalker here. The actual Planeswalker ability is not super relevant here. It's mostly its first sort of standing ability that's a handy one. Whenever you attack, you can place a land card from hand onto the battlefield. Hell yeah. I mean, the logical thing to do would be to run this in an extra attack steps deck as just a source of absolute mad ramp. Yeah, like Gruul Dragons Leagues and Immortals. Anyway. Next up, small equipment suite, just to familiarise people with the mechanics. We have Vendor Channeler. It's 10 mana, but plus 1,000 power, power, it did change, and 10 toughness. Dark Daggers, 4-drop, plus 200 power, plus 5 toughness. Dark Helm, 200 power, 2 toughness, but it costs a little less, not too bad. And Pyro Hammer, it's expensive for what it is, and 100 power isn't much of an improvement, but it does give you 12 toughness, so, just about worth it. Next up, we have the creature base. Paravian here is a 1-drop 404, which is, decent by standards at the time. You can also pay orange to get an extra 600 power. An ability that is known as Phantom Breathing, I'm reliably informed. Hyperlipithion Ultra here. Whenever you play a card that costs CMC 5 or greater, it gets plus 500 power, 5 toughness, let a turn. Interesting thing is it can do that as many times as you have cards that cost enough to do it. Garganoid here then, 500 power, 4 toughness, and if you have the most lands, it gets an extra 5 toughness. Dragonoid here, if you have no cards in hand, it gains double strike. 1800 power, 12 toughness, but it is a 9-drop, so Hellcore here, 5-drop, which decent stat line for a 5-drop. No cards in hand, it gains an extra 20 toughness, 1500 power, 5 toughness. It's good enough. Swarmer here, there's a few vanillas to round things out, I think. A nice 1415, nice 2412. 2905, and then some slightly more interesting ones. Finally, some slightly more varied colour ID. No casting cost here, which is the interesting part. The exact mechanic for that wasn't covered in the guide that came with the deck, so I'm not 100% how it works, but you can pay red to get something 200 power, or 2 red to get something 600 power. Which is honestly a pretty cool take on fire breathing. I can dig it. Similar thing here. Green for 300 power, red green 500, and then green 200, 2 green 600. Then we have a nice simple creature with cycling. Mantanoid's an interesting one, actually. Whenever you discard a card, it gets an extra 400 power. And it's base 400. But, like, basically, the goal is to get this out one turn and then Titanium out the next. Because when you play Titanium, you ditch your hand. Which means you're going to be discarding several cards and giving Mantanoid here a whole lot of power. So yeah, Titanium is 1015. Ditch hand on ditch hand on cast. Just about, honestly, for that stat line, I'd say it's just about worth it. Especially since there's only a 4-drop. So, oh yeah, battles make more of a comeback in the early 2030s. By the time the deck is released, they're as common as any other permanent type, which is baffling to see. So, this one, a nice simple 5-drop. Prevent all damage dealt to you by non-red sources and destroy target land. I know, they do some really wacky stuff now. Print damage from non-black sources, and you can also discard a card to cast this for free. Pretty solid, right? Anyway, yeah. Prevent all damage from black or red sources. Good enough. Prevent all damage from red sources. Yeah, this is the interaction suite, in case anyone's guessing. So, next up we have mostly instants, I think. Plus 200 power. Target creature against 200 power until end of turn. No cards in hand to get 600. Plus 4 toughness. No cards in hand, it gains double strike. Plus 2 toughness, then this goes to bottom deck. I'm assuming this is just in there to introduce the mechanic. Bottom deck seems to be more popular in future. Nice simple 1-drop for plus 200 power. Like, you know, Monstrous Rage could never. Cannot wait. I wish this was in standard right now. I could get so much value out of this in my nice deck. Fireball, I know, it's an unusual one. It's not what you expect Fireball to do. Normally, it lets you hit big damage across a number of targets, across multiple targets. Now, however, it's a 1-drop that just gives something 3 toughness. Not sure when they errotted it, but there you go. Wild Roll, target creature loses 300 power. Nice little combat trick. Invigoration Blast, target creature gains 1 toughness for each land you control. This Shell Shield's a pretty fun one, actually. Target creature loses 3 toughness for each green permanent you control. Dual Strike, nice simple one. It gains double strike, and you get an extra combat. Which, you know, for 3 mana, pretty handy. Lava Boost, just a nice simple 900 power. Boom. 200 toughness, well, 20 toughness. And Lightning, another Planeswalker here. Whenever you attacking creature gets plus 3 toughness, which, again, useful standing ability. The loyalty abilities don't really matter, he's just in there for that, I think. So, another battle. ETB, your opponent reveals their hand, I choose an instant, and then you discard it. Pretty good for what it is. And another cheeky creature. ETB, target player discards a card. Kobo is a classic. You know, we love Kobo here. Basically, if it's blocked, then if it has lower power than the blocking creature, defending player discards a card. Mind Slip. You get an extra combat, someone discards a card. Pretty handy. Diagonal's Gaze, destroy Planeswalker with CMC 4 or less. Ray of Darkest, someone discards a card for each black permanent you control. Pretty handy. Nice simple, target player discards 2. Hero's Demise, nice simple, destroy Planeswalker. And Jenkins, there's more Planeswalkers than you'd expect for a deck like this, but, like, you know, they all have value. Again, the static ability on this one is the one that really matters. End of turn, if you have no cards in hand, you can deal 2 damage to any target. This deck basically wants to have no cards in hand. And, yeah, it's neat seeing Hellbent make a Make such a comeback in Jund, specifically. Spark, another battle, draw 1, ditch 1. This is the draw suite, as you can probably surmise. Sowing Seeds. If you have the most lands, draw 2. Air 0, reveal top card. If it is on a battle, you just cast it for free. I know, there's ways of getting that under Eye of the Storm. Just go absolutely nuts. Anger, no cards in hand, draw 2. And it gets something through into Bower. Pretty good. Sifting Ashes, draw 2, ditch 2. It's functionally a reprint of Fatal Saluting Master Flashback. Good enough, though. Rack of Fury. Target creature gains 3 toughness. Investigate. 5 floor, 2 toughness and investigate. G-Force drop. Loses 300 Bower. Investigate. Clear Steel Glare. Loses 1,000 Bower. Investigate. Sonic Scream. Plus 10 toughness. Investigate. Storming Quake. Plus 10 toughness. Then if you have the most lands, draw 3. Pretty solid, but like it is a 7 drop, admittedly. You know, Triple Blazing Barrage. Another pretty decent one. Plus 2 to Bower, and 2 toughness, and you investigate. Not bad for 2 mana. Dark Fortune. It's choose basically search your deck for a creature, really put it to your hand, and then shuffle. Cycling Madness. You'd expect it to have cycling. It doesn't. You draw 1, your opponent ditches 1, and you bottom deck it. And finally, one last Planeswalker, MILF. At the end of turn, if you have no cards in hand, draw 1. And finally, the mana base for this deck. They're kind of pretty simple. You have 11 swamps, 11 forests, and 10 mountain. Oh, 11 swamps, 11 mountains, 10 forests, 1 aromatic forest, and then your basic command tower, exotic orchard, and a Evolving Wilds. So, yeah, very unorthodox deck, but like, by the standards of what I've seen and what the meta is going to be like in 2035, this is a solid entry point for new players, and I recommend you pick it up in 10 years' time when it eventually releases. See you next time for something that's actually a real deck, and not just an elaborate April Fool's video.
Thank you.